Hey everyone, as stated, this is going to be a recap of one craft acquisition that I got, and then I got a yarn acquisition yesterday, okay? This acquisition came in during Amber's little one's birthday while her mom was visiting, and there's another separate video on that, and it's a little bit more of a rant, and I'm going to leave it at that for now, okay? The first thing that I did get from that my daughter went ahead and paid for, and yes, I have already broken into this, are the rubber grip crochet hook set. I have already taken out the E, F, G, H. No, the H, I, J, okay? K hooks and all. And I've got one, I think that has, oh, the G, the H, the I, and the J. Those are the ones I've taken out of the packaging already. And I completely understand why everyone likes these things, because the hook no longer continues to get warm from usage in your hand because of the rubberized grips. I absolutely love that. Okay, I'm trying to recall what happened to the back, and I don't see it anywhere. Sorry. I don't see it anywhere, but I did notice that the J hook is not 6.0, it's 5.75. The I hook is not 5.5, it's 5.25. And the N hook, I think, is in this pack, the rest of this right here. Let me see here. There's the K. There's an L. Okay, the K is 6.5, the L is 8.0, and the N is a 10.0, not the 9.0. So I've got J, I, J, and N hooks that are either one side slightly smaller or 1 whole millimeter bigger. So I've got a number of variety of sizes, but wow, I mean, I definitely need to start keeping a craft journal of which hook I used on what project now. Excuse me, there's a fly buzzing around me. Because I don't want to forget which size I actually used. So I definitely need to get my journal out and get started on it as to the project I've done, completed, whether it's still a work in progress, but more importantly, to make a notation of the hook that was used. And these are, this is that set from Boye, B-O-Y-E. Excuse me. In addition, I have an extra H and an extra I from my birthday haul that I had back in July. Okay? All right, putting that aside. I also found this on in Walmart on an end cap. And as soon as I saw it, I figured, oh, I've got to try this out. And since my daughter was pink, oh, there it is. There it is. Going back to the hooks for a moment, here's the back cover. I noticed, okay, there's the sizes and all. I'm going to do something as a tip for myself, and if you want to go ahead and use the tip as well, by all means, go ahead. If you're going to keep all of these hooks in a separate crochet hook bag or notions bag or whatever, not only take this and cut it off so that you have a smaller condensed version of it, but also put the letter of the color of the handle under each one. For example, the H hook is orange, so put an O under it. The I hook, I believe, is yellow, or no, the G hook was yellow, so I'd put a Y under it. The I hook, or okay, this particular J hook is green, so I would put a G underneath the J hook. So this way I know what color handle I'm looking for, and I don't pull them all out just trying to go through all the handles trying to find which one's which. Okay, so if anyone else wants to use that little suggestion, by all means go ahead. Okay, put the first letter of the color of the handle under each letter, so this way when you're looking for a specific hook size, you know what the color of the handle is. Okay, that's just the thought. All right, okay, that done, that aside. Okay, back to this. I found a multiple usage pom-pom tassel maker from Red Heart. Okay, here it is. Okay, and on the back here, the instructions and all. Make multiple pom-poms and make pom-pom garland, or tassels, and put them aside, and then you've got tassels to put on your baby blanket, your shawls, scarves, that kind of thing. Okay. Now, I did find in Michael's and Joann's the little rectangle one to make the tassel for the tassel maker there. But this is a combination pom-pom and tassel maker by Red Heart. And I did, my apologies. Okay. Needless to say, I did start to see a couple other podcasters, but their set was pink, not green. So they might have gotten a chance to try this out. I am going to try this out when I get a chance, when I have a good reason to. And hopefully that will be here soon in the future. And once I do, I will go ahead and do a review on this as to whether this was a good investment or a not so good investment. I'm hoping that this was a very good investment, because I'm looking forward to trying this out, because even I would like to have multiple pom-poms or even multiple tassels made, whether they're multiple colors, solid colors, it doesn't matter. I'd actually like to have some so that I can put them aside excuse me, like Jeanne Stitches does. She makes up all of these little pom-poms, tassels, appliques, and she puts them in a little box, and then that way when she needs something she can go back and find it, and she'll find what will work and what won't work, and then she'll go ahead and add it to the project and all. So interesting. Patent's still pending on this thing. So that's what I'm going to do with this. And it looks like somebody popped this open. I might be missing something from this. I don't know. No, it's stapled on both sides. Okay. So once I break into this and give it a whirl, I will go ahead and give my review or my opinion on it, and we'll go from there with it. Okay? All right. In addition, on that day, on little one's birthday, I also picked up mandala in baby, and it's the only color that they have on the shelf in my Walmart, which is kind of odd that it's the only one. Yet they've got mandala in the regular colors, and they've got like 6 or 7 of them. They've got Ferris wheel in like 6 colors. They've got the new Huga in 6 colors, but they've only got one mandala baby color, and this is it. And this is called Echo Caves. Look at the color. Look at that. That is so pretty, all of those blues in there. Okay. It's listed as a 3. And as you can see, it's 5.3, 150 yards. Or, no, I'm sorry, 150 grams. And it's 590 yards, so 540 meters. Okay. Like I said, very nice colors. All of those blues in there and the greens. And again, it's called Echo Caves. I don't know if I showed that there. Okay, there we go. All right. On the shelf, there were 7 cakes of this mandala baby. And I noticed, and I didn't get a picture of it, and I didn't have my phone with me at the time. My husband had it with him because he had the grocery list. And I wish I had my phone with me because I would have taken a picture of it. But of the 7 cakes on the shelf, 4 looked like this, striped. They look striped. Okay? Even this one looks nice. Okay? Lots that white band in there is really nice and all. And I didn't notice it when I picked it up, but apparently this has got a white center in it. I might need to do some yarn surgery and take that small amount off. I don't know yet. I don't know yet. It depends on how much of it's in there. Okay? I didn't think I needed to do yarn surgery, but I might need to at this point. This one has the dark blue center, or the gray, like this right here. Don't know if you can actually see that right there with that dark blue on top and then that light blue. Anyway, I was trying to match them up center-wise, and that's why I thought this one was the blue, and I see this little white because the outside of this one is the blue, or that dark blue with the what looks like a little bit of gray or green in it. Okay, so if I need to do a little surgery, you know, no big deal. Hopefully it won't do too much. But the 7 cakes on the shelf, and the 4 were striped. So I was trying to get their centers to match up from the center to the next cake with the outside. Okay, so that way I could tie them together and then just keep the color run going, like some of us do. Okay. The other thing is that the other 3 cakes were more like a gradient instead of a stripe. And like I said, I wish I'd had my camera. I would have gotten a picture of it and tied it in here so that way you could see it. But it's really weird because you don't see the individual colors in the other 3 cakes because it's more like they're mashed together. I mean, you've got the blue and the blues tied together, the blue and the white tied together, the white and the green tied together. It looks more like a gradient than a self-stripe. So I don't know if they were flaws from mandala and they slipped out of the factory or what, but I don't know. But the next time I'm in my Walmart, I will try to get a picture of those and show you the difference between the striping and what appears to be a gradient. And since they still have a couple of the striped cakes still on the shelf, I'll actually try and put them side by side so that you can see them and see what happened. I don't know if it was a factory issue or what, but it looked kind of interesting but odd at the same time. So I got the stripes because that's what I wanted. Okay. Oh, and sorry about that. I got this because I was looking at including this into making Petra Sosa of Foxy Creations her midnight shawl with this, because it's kind of what I see is midnight colors. Excuse me. Oh, for some reason. And see how it comes out. And if I don't do it, the midnight shawl in these 2 cakes, I will find something else that I will do. Maybe a scarf, a skinny scarf or something that I can wear in the fall that I can go ahead and wrap around a couple times if I get too cold or something. Something that's light that hopefully I could also wear through summer, but I don't want it to the point where I'm going to have to take it off because I'm also feeling hot. Okay, anyway, because I am going to do it up in that particular shawl in the Lux Lolly yarn that was gifted to me from Cindy. Okay, so that's what I'm looking at. And I also noticed just now that you can distinctly see the white in this cake, but in this one it looks like it's kind of hiding in there between that blue and that green. That's all right though. Okay, it's in there. That's the important thing. It almost looks like both these cakes are just about the same. Just about. So I'm almost wondering at this point if I'm also going to find that little white tail strand hiding in this one too, because they look pretty close to being the same. So I'll find out. I'll find out at a later date. Okay, put those back over there. All right, yesterday when I was in my Walmart and all, I needed to pick up a color of yarn for a test pattern that I was selected to help out with. And because Walmart was out of the spring green, which I would have preferred, I ended up instead with Mainstay. And this looks like spring green from Red Heart. It looks pretty close. So I did not want to mix this up with a spring green that I do have. Because if the color shade is off even just slightly, I know I'm going to have a problem. Okay, so I went ahead and got the skein of spring green, this one's called basically green. Okay, so I went ahead and picked this up for the test pattern that I'm going to be doing, and the hat, one of the adornments to this project, is going to be done up in Grape Fizz at somebody's request. Yep. Okay. She asked, so I figured, all right, I'll go ahead and I'll do that for her. If I enjoyed this pattern, which I think I will, because it's absolutely a knockout. Okay. If and when I do it up again, I'm going to do it to my shade of green and so forth, and kind of give it a little bit of character. Anyway, okay. All right. I also noticed on the shelf the Red Heart ombre, and that stuff in our Walmart comes and goes very quickly. I mean, they come in and they swoop it right off the shelf and off it goes. And I'm going to show you something. This here is spearmint. Okay? This is spearmint. I was actually considering this for the project and decided that the green was too much of a gum color, basically, a mint color and all, hence its named spearmint, and that's why I went ahead and picked that up instead. The Mainstay's version of Red Heart Spring Green. But I also noticed on the shelf right in front of that full skein was this. And the first thing I noticed was this. I can put my fingers in here. I can put 3 fingers in here. You notice what's wrong with this? This skein's not full. I'm thinking of what someone might have done is either pulled a section of the center out and then brought back what they didn't want, or they took it home, used what they wanted, and then returned the rest of it. And it went back on the shelf instead of being put in the return pile to go back to the manufacturer. But now that I've made that comment and I think about it, I honestly think that what someone did was they pulled out the center, snipped it, and left the rest of it on the shelf because they didn't want to pay for the whole thing. But you know what? There are people out there. Jeanne from On the Hook, she'll do a project, and if she's got extra yarn left over from that, she'll give it away. So in the long run, even though she's bought so many skeins, balls, cakes, whatever, and she doesn't use all of it, she figures it's better off give it a new home. She's even used, just recently as a matter of fact, she had one project she was working on, but she didn't like the feel of the yarn. And she offered to go ahead and put it in her giveaway. And when she did, it's up to the person who receives it as to what they want to do with it. If they want to frog it out, or if they want to continue with the pattern. It's up to them. She even sent out some that were like 4 full balls and then a partial. Now, a lot of people wouldn't like that, but even for me, hey, I'll take what I can get. All right. So what I think happened was somebody pulled the center out of this, snipped it, and left the rest of it on the shelf. Because if this had been returned to Walmart in this condition, they would not have put it back on the shelf. They would not have. Okay. The nice thing is that this is normally a 644 skein, and because of its mess and the fact that it's not a full skein either, I'm almost thinking this is maybe 3 or maybe 3.5 ounces of yarn here. It's like 1/3 of it's missing. Okay, it's like 1/3 of it's missing. But I would have been happy to have received this as a giveaway gift, because, you know, the way my brain works sometimes, I would find a use for it, and that's what I told them in the craft department. I says, mark it down, I'll take it home. It's a $6.44 skein, a $6.44 skein. I got to take it home for $5. It's got a good new home, and I will find something to do with this. As a matter of fact, I'm already thinking of a shawl that give me a moment. Summer Stitches and Tips did. She used Ombre Life from Michaels, and she made the faded block shawl from Yarnspirations, I think. Please don't hold me to that. I will put all links in the description box, okay, for patterns and so forth. And it is a free pattern, by the way. That much I do remember. It is a free pattern. And she used Ombre Life, and she needed a second cake. Well, when I do this up, it's when I run out of yarn, I run out of yarn. That's all there is to it. But I'm sure I can make up some other things with whatever's left over also, since I have one full skein and one almost full skein. I mean, there you can feel that quite a bit was taken out of this. I mean, it started out at, oh, excuse me, my error altogether. Okay, this started out at 10 ounces. I think it's down to 8.5 or 7 ounces that's in here. So there's still a good chunk of this yarn here. But it, like I said, it's like someone came by and just pulled the center out, snipped it, and then started playing with it. And it got, I mean, like I said, I should not be able to do this. Okay? This is not a full skein. I should not be able to put my hand between the yarn and the label. So, I'm going to go ahead and do the faded block shawl with this and go from there. And whatever I have left over, I'll try and come up with some other projects to do with it. But I have a full and I have a partial. And like I said, it's like it's maybe 2.5 to 3 ounces light. So I'm sure I'll find something for it. Especially this unruly mess. I mean, the colors almost look like they're jade colors. I'm sorry the sun is not giving it its true color. It's giving it the bright color green, and it's not. It's more of a turquoise type thing. But like I said, it is an unruly mess when I picked it up. It really was. So the first thing I am going to do with this is go ahead and recake it, so this way it's not an unruly mess and it'll be easier to handle. But I made out like a little bit of a bandit with it. Okay. Well, that's one end, and there's another end. Hopefully. Oh, I see. Okay. They pulled the thread. They took the center out and they pulled it in order to break it. That's what they did. Alright. No big deal. I can handle it. I can handle it. I'll have fun with this. So that's what I have in the way of the acquisitions and all between the 2 days. And when I get started on this one, I will let everyone know. But again, the sun is shining in here and it's just not giving the true color. It is spearmint, and it looks it is spearmint, and the color ombre is without the sun shining on it is kind of like a jade colors and all, but with the sun shining it looks more like greens for a frog or a tree, so, or even grass, you know, that kind of thing. But okay, that's it. I'm going to go ahead and wrap this up. I'm at 27 minutes just on this stuff alone, and that's a first for me. I will see about either, I don't know, it'll be tied together, and I'll get it uploaded next week. Okay, so everyone have fun, have a good weekend, and I'll be back next week. Talk to you then. Bye bye.